The Chronicles of Kwarento, A Divided Soul. Chapter 1. The Rising Sun. In the tranquility of Brookshire, where rolling hills met the horizon, a hobbit named Sam Gamgee tended to his garden. His hands, once calloused from years of toil, now cradled delicate blossoms. The seasons flowed like verses in a forgotten ballad, and Sam's heart echoed with memories of a life well lived. One dew-kissed morning, as the sun peeked over the hedgerows, Sam discovered a woven basket on his doorstep. Within it lay an infant, a mystery wrapped in swaddling cloth. The note pinned to the basket bore a single word, Kwarento. The elvish script danced like fireflies, hinting at secrets beyond the veil of reality. The child's eyes, wide and curious, blinked up at Sam. His skin held the hues of both earth and sky, dwarf and elf entwined. Sam's heart swelled with compassion. His own children had grown, their laughter echoing in distant meadows. His beloved wife Rosie had passed away, leaving an empty hearth. And now, fate had delivered this enigma, a child abandoned by parents who vanished like mist. Honoring the note, Sam named him Kwarento, which meant mystery in the ancient tongue. Brookshire whispered rumors. The child was half dwarf, half elf. Some shook their heads, while others marveled at the cosmic dance that had brought Kwarento to Sam's doorstep. Kwarento's youth unfolded like petals in Sam's garden. The hobbit taught him the art of nurturing life, the way soil cradled seeds, the way sunlight kissed leaves. Together, they planted flowers that bloomed in hues of both sun and moon. Every night, the scent of potting soil and freshly baked bread would linger in his memories. Yet, as he reached the end of adolescence, questions gnawed at Kwarento's heart. Why had his parents left him? What love had bound a dwarf and an elf, only to unravel into silence? Sam listened, his eyes kind and knowing. He shared heroic tales of bravery, of fellowship and love that without the grace of fortune might have never seen the light of day. Kwarento wondered if his parents had been heroes too, their names etched in forgotten scrolls. Chapter 2. Forging Destiny. Kwarento, now a young man, felt the urge that there was more in store than a simple life in Brookshire. He loved all that Sam had given him, but the mystery of his past drew his thoughts beyond the borders of his beloved home. Upon Sam's advice, Kwarento sought and found work as a blacksmith's apprentice. Perhaps learning the ancient craft of his dwarven lineage would take him further down the road he sought. The master blacksmith, Gruffin Goldforge, was a grizzled dwarf with a heart as sturdy as the anvils he wielded. He saw potential in Kwarento, the blend of earth and sky that simmered within him. Gruffin taught Kwarento the art of shaping metal. As the months passed, the forge became his sanctuary, a place where iron yielded to fire, where raw materials transformed into blades and armor. The hammer became an extension of his will. Kwarento's muscles strained, sweat mingling with soot. He forged swords that gleamed like moonlight on water and shields that promised protection. Yet, beneath the sweat-streaked brow, he wondered about his elven blood, the magic that pulsed within. After a long day of work, as Kwarento stoked the forge, he felt a surge, an awakening. His hands trembled, and the blade he worked on glowed with an otherworldly light. The elven blood within him stirred. Kwarento closed his eyes, and the forge became a conduit. He wove magic into the steel, the ability to mend, to enchant, to resonate with the earth's heartbeat. Kwarento nurtured this newfound conduit through which the power of his elven blood surged. His touch infused weapons with resilience. Blades became unbreakable, armor impenetrable. When he struck the anvil, sparks danced like fireflies. Gruffin watched, grumbling about fancy tricks, but Kwarento knew he was channeling a legacy. Chapter 3. The Whispering Woods. One moonlit night, a dream beckoned Kwarento to venture into the Whispering Woods, a mystical forest where realms converged. There, he encountered a spectral figure, an elven maiden with silver hair and tear-filled eyes. She revealed fragments of his past, a stolen kiss beneath ancient oaks, a prophecy, and a sacrifice. Kwarento's parents had defied their kin to be together. Their love had consequences, their union threatened ancient enmities. And so, they vanished, leaving their child on Sam's doorstep. The elven maiden's words echoed, "Seek Dwellalore, the lost city where dwarves and elves once coexisted. There, you'll find answers." Upon his return home, he found Sam awake, sitting by the hearth, his eyes crinkled with wrinkles earned from years of tending to Brookshire. The fire crackled, casting shadows on the walls, the dance of memories. Kwarento approached Sam. The elven spirit's words weighed upon him, the silver-haired maiden who had revealed fragments of his past in the Whispering Woods. "Sam," Kwarento began, his voice a blend of wonder and uncertainty, "I've a tale to share, a moonlit encounter that stirred the roots of my soul." Sam looked up, his pipe smoke curling like secrets. "Speak, lad. The Whispering Woods hold more than echoes." And so, Kwarento recounted the night. The moon, a silver coin, the leaves whispering secrets. He had wandered deep into the heart of the forest, where the veil between realms was thin. There, he saw her, an elven maiden with eyes like starlight and hair that shimmered like dew-kissed spider silk. "She was ethereal, Sam," Kwarento said, his hands mimicking the grace of her movements. "Her voice, the wind through leaves. She told me of my parents, the dwarf and the elf. Their love defied tradition, and their union had consequences." Sam leaned forward, his eyes kindling. "Consequences?" Kwarento nodded. "They vanished, leaving me, a child wrapped in mystery. She spoke of Dwellalore, the lost city where my parents hailed from, a place of forgotten runes, hidden spells, and ancient enmities." Sam puffed his pipe, the smoke spiraling. "And what did she want, this elven spirit?" "To guide me," Kwarento replied, "to help me seek answers, to unravel why they left, what sacrifice bound them. Dwellalore awaits, Sam. But first, I must prepare. My magical abilities, the ones I've inherited, they're like sparks in the forge. I can mend broken things and weave enchantments into my craft." Sam's eyes crinkled further. "Magic, eh? Well, that's a twist in the tale. But remember, Kwarento, magic ain't just about spells and runes. It's about the love that binds us, the memories etched in stone, the laughter shared by hearthfires." Kwarento nodded. "I'll seek Dwellalore, Sam. But for now, I'll forge my path, learn, grow, and become stronger. And when the time comes, when the Whispering Woods beckon again, I'll step through. For my parents, for myself, and for Brookshire." Sam stood, his old joints creaking. "You've got the heart of a wanderer, Kwarento. May the stars guide your steps, and may your hammer ring true." As the night waned and the fire was but embers, Kwarento lay in his bed, peering out his window in a half-dream. The moon watched, a silver witness to a half-dwarf, half-elf, dreaming of weaving his destiny. The Whispering Woods rustled, a promise of secrets yet unveiled. Chapter 4, A Long-Awaited Journey. As the seasons wove their tapestry, the time came for Kwarento to bid farewell to Brookshire, the rolling hills, the cozy hearths, and the scent of freshly baked bread. Sam Gamgee, his adoptive father, stood by the garden gate, his eyes crinkled with both pride and sorrow. "Kwarento," Sam said, his voice a gentle breeze, "you're ready, lad. The forge of destiny awaits, and Dwellalore calls to you. But remember, it's not just about seeking answers, it's about finding yourself. Kwarento nodded, his heart a blend of anticipation and trepidation. The elven blood pulsed within him, urging him onward. He had learned much from Sam, the art of tending to the earth, the warmth of companionship, and the courage to seek the unknown. "Sam," Kwarento began, "I'll miss the garden, the roses, and your stories, the ones about Frodo and the ring, about loyalty and sacrifice." Sam's eyes twinkled. "Ah, lad, the garden will bloom anew, and the stories will echo through the Brookshire. But you're a chapter unfolding. Dwellalore holds secrets, but so does your heart." They embraced, the sturdy hobbit and the half-breed. Kwarento felt the earth beneath his feet, the same earth that cradled his parents' footsteps. Sam's hands were warm, weathered, and filled with love. "Remember," Sam whispered, "you're not alone. You've got the stars above, the wind in the trees, and the memories of those who loved you." And so, Kwarento set forth, a blacksmith's apprentice, a seeker of lost cities, and a weaver of magic. As he walked away, he glanced back at Sam, who stood there, a solitary figure against the horizon. "Goodbye, Sam," Kwarento whispered. "I'll find Dwellalore, but I'll carry Brookshire with me, the scent of roses, the taste of fresh bread, and the love that binds us all." And with that, he stepped beyond the garden gate, his heart a forge, his footsteps a melody. The road stretched ahead, a path of mystery and wonder. But wherever he wandered, he knew that Sam's love would be his compass, a light in the darkness, a whisper in the wind. Chapter 5. Tales in the Guildhall. The sun dipped low on the horizon as Kwarento trudged through the dust-choked streets of Porto Securo. The city's walls loomed ahead, their once proud stones now etched with worry lines. The air tasted of salt and secrets, a blend of hope and apprehension. Kwarento had journeyed far from the rolling hills of Brookshire. His purpose burned within him like a forge's fire, to uncover the lost city of Dwellalore, to trace the echoes of his parents' love, and to wield magic as both weapon and salvation. The Blacksmith's Guildhall stood at the heart of Porto Securo, a bastion of courage and camaraderie. Its wooden sign creaked in the breeze, bearing the emblem of hammer-wielding bear and a blazing sun. Kwarento pushed open the heavy door, the scent of old leather and hearth smoke enveloping him. Inside, a grizzled dwarf sat at a scarred table, surrounded by maps and half-empty tankards. His eyes, like twin embers, flickered as Kwarento approached. "New blood," Thrain grunted. "I am Guildmaster Thrain Ironbeard. What brings you to our doorstep, lad?" Kwarento straightened, his heart pounding. "I seek answers." The Guildhall's dim-lit chamber held an air of solemnity as Kwarento leaned across the scarred table, his eyes fixed on Thrain Ironbeard, the grizzled dwarf who had weathered countless quests. "Thrain," Kwarento began, "I've heard whispers, the ancient ballads, the tavern tales, the ethereal message of passing spirits. Dwellalore, the lost city, veiled in mystery. What do you know?" Thrain's gaze held the weight of years, the battles fought, the comrades lost. "Dwellalore," he murmured, "a name etched in forgotten runes, a place where dwarves and elves once danced together, a fragile alliance that crumbled like ancient parchment." Kwarento leaned closer. "Why did it fall? What secrets lie buried there?" Thrain's brow furrowed. "Dwellalore," he muttered, "a place almost wholly lost to the past, mere legend in most parts. You're not the first seeker, lad, but perhaps you'll be the last." Kwarento's palms pressed against the table. "Why?" he asked. "Why might I be the last?" Thrain's gaze bore into Kwarento. Because, he said, the world shifts, the veil between realms frays. Kuluk's rise, the demigod unshackled, has altered everything. Porto Securo, once our stronghold, now might crumble under her tyranny. The Guild, the bastion of courage, might be but a flicker in the storm. Kwarento's breath caught. Kuluk, I've heard tell of her, he whispered. Her malevolence stretches across Primordia. It started with Dwellalore, Thrain continued, a city of marvels, a tapestry woven by both dwarf and elf. Thousands of years ago, it thrived, a beacon of unity where runes danced upon every stone. Thrain's gaze turned inward, as if peering through the veil of forgotten ages. Imagine, spires of mithril and moonstone, reaching for the heavens, gardens where silver leaves whispered secrets to the wind, markets where dwarven artisans traded with elven sages, their crafts merging like twilight and dawn. But, Kwarento hesitated, Kuluk, the demigod. How did the city fall? Thrain's jaw tightened. Kuluk, he spat, unleashed upon the world, an astral storm. Dwellalore was one of many cities that crumbled, its spires shattered, its gardens withered. Kwarento's fists clenched. Why? Thrain's gaze bore into Kwarento's, a mirror reflecting ancient pain. Because, he said, Kuluk hungered for dominion. It consumed cities and the dreams of the people therein. The veil between realms tore, the cosmic dance disrupted. Before all was lost, the free peoples of Primordia imprisoned the malicious demon in the astral prism. But alas, she has escaped and is free to continue her endless path of destruction. Chapter 6. Embers and Ash. It was decided that Kwarento would train with the Guild, a motley crew of blacksmiths and artificers from all across the realm. He honed his arcane smithing, broke bread with his brother and sisters, and listened to tales old and new. The Guild soon became like family, a patchwork quilt of hope and resilience. But before too long, shadow fell. At night, they came. The moon hung low, a silver witness to the city's fate. Kuluk's forces descended upon Porto Securo, an open siege that shattered stone and spirit alike. The Guildhall, once a bastion of courage, now quaked under the onslaught. They fought valiantly, their blades flashing, their magic weaving through the chaos. But Kuluk's operatives were relentless, faceless, driven by a malevolence older than memory. Thrain Ironbeard, the Guildmaster, stood at the forefront. His beard, once a symbol of resilience, now bore the stains of battle. Kwarento fought alongside him, blade clashing against steel, elven blood aflame. The Guild's legacy hung in the balance, the echoes of fallen heroes urging them onward. The Guildhall's time-worn beams groaned. It was then that Thrain fell, his eyes locked with Kwarento's. "Find Dwellalore," he gasped. "I do not know the way. But seek out Blackwell, he may." But alas, Thrain breathed his last. The Guild scattered, its dreams shattered. All that could fled, their footsteps echoing through smoke-choked alleys. Porto Securo crumbled, the once proud walls sagging, the Guild's emblem fading. Kwarento, wounded and desperate, followed the survivors. Eloan, the rogue with eyes like embers, guided them through hidden tunnels. The city burned, the scent of ash and death searing his lungs. And so, within the sewer's shadows, Kwarento vowed to seek out this Blackwell who might help unravel Dwellalore's secrets, to find a way to bring defeat to the ancient evil of Kuluk, and to restore the glory of Porto Securo. His parents' love, the lost story etched in ancient runes, drove him forward.